So I called this video How to Fly Over the Sea. Now, to some people, that's pretty easy really. And to be quite honest, it is. But I'll be honest guys, when I've been flying drones, it did take me a couple of years to get the nerve to actually fly up over the sea. Flying over a river, yeah, that's easy. But flying over the sea, when you can't see what's at the other end, because obviously it's this miles of sea, it is a bit nerving. So I think one of the first things you want to do, guys, especially if it's your first time, don't go and fly out in the sea if it's your first time. Get confident first about flying over the land. And once you've got that confidence, that's what you've got to put in your head. That sea is like the land. Obviously, you can't walk on it, but that's the way I put it in my head. That sea out there is like the land. Now, obviously, a couple of things you need to take into consideration, and one of the first things is the weather, because you're not going to fly if it's blowing a gale out there, because you've got no chance of getting your drone back. And don't forget, the Mini 3 is only a little drone, but it does quite well in the wind. So first thing you want to do is get yourself an app. UAV app, very good. It's free. You get like the next state's weather forecast. I mean, obviously check before you go out as well, because you can check the area that you're going to visit, or even check it while you're out here as well. But you know how quick weather can change, so you can just look at it. I'm at the moment, it's lovely and calm here. It's not blowing a gale or nothing. So this is a good time to go and fly out over the sea. Right, another thing you've got to think about, guys, is the height. How high do you need to fly to go over the sea? Now, obviously, don't fly it really low, because one of the things I've learned over the years is that underneath the drone is the sensors. And the sensors can't really distinguish between land and sea. And I've noticed my drones over the years, they do drop. And obviously, if your drone drops for some reason, it will raise back up again, but it does do it. If there's a big wave, you lost your drone. So fly your drone 20 feet or more. Don't forget, you can use the zoom facility on the Pro if you wanted to get a little bit, you want to make it look a little bit closer to the water. Say, for instance, there's a boat out there or something. So yeah, that's the other thing. Now, one of the most important things before you fly up over the sea, when you start your drone up and your controller's going on, make sure it fixes its home point. So I know the excitement, oh, I'm going to fly over the sea, it's looking fantastic. You take the drone off and then you let it zoom out before it's fixed its home point, because what it would do, it'll probably fix its home point out there somewhere. So just take your time. Sometimes it can take a couple of seconds, sometimes it can take over a minute or so, but wait till you've got your home point fixed and then take your drone off gently. Now, another thing is, for a first timer, you don't need to go very far, guys. You can probably go out about 100 feet or more, and you can capture some great shots. Okay, you can go out a little bit further, but just bear in mind that obviously making sure that you've got enough power on that battery, even though you've got a smart battery. Okay, so maybe there's a bit of a breeze. You've got to think about, on the return, is it going to make it back? Now, usually it will work out. If it feels like it's gone too far out, it will just come home. Well, another thing that a lot of people don't like using, I don't know why, but I always use it all the time anyway, is the return to home mode. Now, the return to home is fantastic. For me, I find by pressing the return to home, when the drone's coming back, if I got my eyes on something, I can move the gimbal, I can turn the drone while it's coming back, and you get some fantastic shots. But also, don't forget, guys, when you're out there, maybe you lose the direction it is, even though you've got it on your screen, things like that. By pressing the return to home, you know that drone's going to come back, and you can cancel it if you want at any time. So just bear that in mind as well. So do a bit of practicing before you fly out in the scene of return to home. And as always, you don't need to go very far. I've seen so many videos this past couple of weeks where guys they bought a drone for the first time, they've seen all the videos because it can do this and it can do that. All drones can go wrong, so you just got to bear that in mind as well. But anyway, don't want to put you off about going over the sea, because you will love it if it's your first time, you've never done it before. So just think, that's the land out there. Feel confident first. As long as you've got the confidence, then just go out gradually, bring it back in, do it again, until you got the confidence that, whatever, how far you want to go out. But just bear in mind, you don't need to go out too far. It doesn't look very good if you've got lots of sea. So anyway, hope you found that useful. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to put up some shots of me flying the drone out. And then obviously another good way with your drone as well is to do downward shots, so you've got the waves coming in. That looks pretty amazing as well. So, as always guys, I'll come back to you in a minute. I'm going to get the drone up now, and I'll come back to you later and see if we've got a good flying session out on the sea. So I've got the screen record on. So I'm going to take the drone off. Hopefully it would just do it from this position. Should do. That's handy. I have my own landing pad. So I'm just lining it up for you. Now that is only, well, it's saying it's not even 2 foot off the ground, so I'm going to bring it up a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to put on the record. So off we go, nice and gentle. You don't have to go out too far. As you can see already, you're not going to see a lot. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to turn it around. Just going to stop the drone a minute. Turn the drone around so it can see me. Now it's obviously going to have the sun in front of me. So there's the sun. Now I can dip the camera down a bit. I'm going to just bring it back a bit more. I've been having a few problems, I noticed, still with the screen. It's still quite sensitive, I noticed. So what I'm doing now, I'm flying it out backwards. Now if you notice here, I'm about 13 foot, if that. Okay. So I'm going to bring it back in. I mean, I'm only, well, not even 500 feet out. So I'm just going to bring it back in. Here we go. Right. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to line it up with Bonnie there. I'm going to bring it back. Drop the gimbal a bit. Just drop it back. So we're just going over where the water's lapping the beach there. And now we're going to raise it up. And as I'm raising it up, I'm going to drop down the gimbal. I mean, that's always a good effect. And then you can sort of line up the drone so it's lined up with the beach or the waves. And then I can bring it out a little bit more. It's a few flies about tonight, I must say. And obviously you can take photographs, you can do video. The drone's just up there. Okay, now I can drop it right down. just to see how clear that water is. I mean, I'm 172 feet. I'm a feet and inches man myself. Let's bring it back towards me. Okay. There we are. Gonna bring it down. Obviously, always keeping an eye on the drone itself, because sometimes you can misjudge it. Because the last thing you want to happen is for it to fall in the sea. Now we've got some seagulls coming up there. See if I can capture the seagulls. Oh, there's one. No, let's bring it up a bit. Let's see if I can capture that seagull. Now they're probably young seagulls. Just going to bring it down a little bit. And then we're going to see if we can fly to them. They don't seem too bothered really at the moment. Okay. Right, okay. Let's bring the drone back. You saw the seagulls then. And now I don't think they're bothered at all. Now this is another thing, I suppose, when you're flying out in the sea. Obviously you are worried about the seagulls because they're quite big, I must say, but as long as you're not attacking them or threatening them, then they're fine. So what I'm doing now, I'm just bringing it in for a hand catch. Like I said, it's a bit it's a little bit sandy here. So I'm doing the thumb effect, the finger effect as they call it. Bring it down again, if you can get it. Just let it go, here it comes. And just let go of the stick. I can turn off the video. So we'll have a quick chat. That went quite well. Like I said, I think something else I forgot to mention, guys, is obviously about the seabirds. Obviously seagulls is probably the worst. If there's young about, then don't fly near them because they will attack the drone. But I don't know what sort of time seagulls do it, but yeah, I think you soon know if there's baby seagulls about. But I think they're quite young seagulls. They're not bothered with the drone. So something else to bear in mind. Now, obviously, the worst scenario is if you are, which I forgot to mention, if you are out in the sea and it's coming back and you haven't got much battery power, drop the drone down a little bit more, not too close obviously to the sea, and then whack it into sports mode to bring it in. Now the other thing is, obviously, if it does go into the sea, it's going to kill this drone. Now if it flies over fresh water, because it's happened to me, I flew my drone over a lake one day and for some reason I hit a cliff overhang and it fell right into the, not this type of drone thankfully, one of my old Phantoms, fell into the water. I couldn't get it out because it was quite deep. I got a Spanish lad who dived down, got out my drone, it killed obviously that battery. I managed to empty all the water out as you do. I then got some rice, packed it in some rice, left it for about 5 days in the sun. Obviously it helps out here in the sun, and then it worked, which was amazing. You know, obviously sea water is going to kill it, but fresh water there's a good chance, but don't do it obviously. Anyway, I hope you enjoy these videos. It's a lovely day. I mean, can't believe it's the evening, about 8 PM here in Spain. Anyway, as I always say, guys, fly safe, and yeah, I'll catch you again.